case of beer, some barbecue. There's no doubt that I'm better than you. With these looks and these moves, you can't blame me for being so rude. The land of the red, white, and blue will be my home till the day I die. I'm every lady's fantasy. I'm the American guy. The trailer park is where I'm from. You better believe I have about 27 guns. Baseball games, pickup trucks. I'm leagues above you other dumb schmucks. I'm from where the women are hot and the Twinkies are deep fried. And every day I pledge allegiance to God and country. I'm the American guy.
Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen, or should I say happy Christmas Eve. It is great to have you here, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode of the Filsinger Games Fan Podcast. My name is Grandpa Choco. It's great to have you here if you're tuning in on Christmas Eve live as this happens, as Christopher Merriman and Michael Bratta are doing right now, or if you're listening to this later at another time, because it is Christmas Eve after all. And a sane person would not be recording a podcast on Christmas Eve, but I just did a live stream, which I think some of you might have caught, and I figured, hey, why not do a podcast? Thomas Morgan is here as well. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Filsinger Games Fan Podcast, episode number 74, the podcast that has visions of sugar plums dancing in its head. Welcome. Before we get going, of course, we do want to send a special thank you out to all the Patreon patrons who help make this show possible. Thank you to all of them, and a special shout out to our patron producers, Dorothy Pachoco, Eve Cunning, Kathy Crawford, Tony Urbano, David Akers, and Vicky Sebring, our patron producers. If you would like to support this show and the other fine content from Saturday Morning Media, become a patron over at patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media. Well, we don't have a ton of news, but we do have some news. So let's get to some news. We're going to start off with Champions of the Galaxy, and the big news here is the Christmas 2021 holiday pack. This is for COTG Online users. So if you want to get these cards, you have to at least sign up for an account. But the great thing is that you will get these cards. You will get all the past Christmas holiday cards, plus the brand new one. That is the Tharkas Who Stole Christmas. A little takeoff on the Grinch. Great art there by our friend Werner. So you will get this card and the other cards. And the best part is if you order this online game edition by December 31st, it is absolutely free. It's $18 otherwise. So you'll definitely want to pick these up. Sign up for an account. The account is free. Sign up for these cards. These cards are free. I don't know what else to tell you. It's free. It's free. It's free. And let me tell you, it back in the day when these cards were coming out, it was hard to get all of them, and I missed a few. And so I'm glad to be able to now finally have the full set and the new one as well. So there you go. For the independent wrestling division of Filsinger Games, there's no new news here, really, except that the Women of the Indies has shipped, Promoter Prime has shipped, so people have gotten those sets. But other than that, not really any sort of news happening there. Legends of Wrestling, moving on to there, no necessarily news, but we did get to finally see the Lance Russell card art, and we did find the final two names in the Legends Expansion 8 were Koko Ware and Tommy Rich. Those were the two cards that had been previously unannounced. So they round out the set for Expansion 8, a great expansion, and have been having a lot of fun playing the cards, and I can't wait to start posting more of my Memphis Fed, because I'm really pumped up to watch it, or to play more of it. So yeah, there you go. I have to do some shuffling around in my personal fed, but you'll find all about that when I post my Memphis Project videos. So there you go. Great artwork, and super fun to have a Lance Russell card in the mix there. A quick update on the Ringside Companion for Champions of the Galaxy. We got confirmation in an email from Fed HQ that the Ringside Companion is indeed delayed. On Roll Up, Todd said that it should arrive shortly after the new year. So hopefully after everyone comes back from break, that can be wrapped up and sent out. We did get a little bit more information on the 2 different volumes, because you remember here on the podcast, we talked about how there's going to be a volume 1 of the Ringside Companion and then a volume 2. And Chad Olson from Uncharted Territories did give us a little bit more information. This is what he said on the message boards, and I'm quoting here. This is a collection of all the Champions of the Galaxy and Legends special matches, plus some new ones, plus a couple of charts that we felt were important to include. Volume 2 of the Ringside Companion will feature all iterations of the game charts from the history of Filsinger Games. That's Into the Ropes, Out of the Ring, etc., etc., etc. It will also include the Indies special matches, so things like the death match that just came out and the Championship Wrestling from Hollywood Red Carpet Rumble interview charts, I assume will be in there. Probably the POW MMA charts and stuff that was very character specific, like the Wolf Wildman chart and the Splatters Lottery chart. So there you go. That's what is coming in Volume 2. So already something to look forward to, and very excited to get my hands on the Ringside Companion. As always, for all the latest Filsinger Games information, you want to stay tuned to filsingergames.com. Probably won't be many updates, around Christmas time, and maybe something next week. I don't know. But definitely keep your finger on the pulse of filsingergames.com, your finger on the mouse of filsingergames.com. Moving on to my little bootleg corner that I started last week and has been super successful. Shane Sullivan, my good friend, West Coast Warrior Shane Sullivan's Old Man Santa card is now out. There's a link to this thread on the message boards in the show notes for this episode, and it's just a really great artwork. The artwork is by Mick McGinty, and actually Shane has a really great story of how he got this artwork. And I almost wish this character was online, because I would have used him in my Christmas Chaos live stream that I just wrapped up. But very, very cool. If you want to download this card for free, the link is in the show notes for this episode. And if you have a bootleg you're putting out and you would like me to talk about on the show, please get in touch, because this, as I said, this has been a fun thing to add to the show, this bootleg corner, and a lot of people have messaged me saying that they really, really enjoy it. So go pick up Old Man Santa, because it is a great card. And speaking of my live stream, I just wrapped up my Christmas Chaos 2021 live stream. I don't want to give any spoilers away, so you're just going to have to go watch it if you have not watched it. You can watch that over on the YouTube channel. It took place this morning on Christmas Eve, and was a lot of fun to roll out. If for anything, the rematch, a year in the making, between Rotunda Claus and Zombie Dreadnought in a barbed wire steel cage. Well, speaking of match of the show, or matches, it's time for the match of the show. I asked you who Anarchy, who has been a fighting champ, should take on, and you got some great suggestions. Shepard, Crossfire, Jimmy Snuka, and Nosfera. And I put all those names into a big blender and mixed them all up, and Crossfire, I just gave it away. I just pulled a Tom. Anarchy's opponent is Crossfire. Let's roll for some initiative, and let's ring that bell. Where's the bell? Come on. There it is. All right, and it looks like Crossfire is going to start things off here with a body slam. It's a power move, but Anarchy has the power, so he will reverse it on level 2 with an Anarchy Atomic Drop 3, down 3. Oh no, Crossfire in trouble right from the start here. Choke Slam 2 on Crossfire. Crossfire reversing it on level 2. Hunter Hammerlock Drop 3, down 3. Leave the ring. Anarchy is going to bail. He slams Crossfire into the announce table. He may be disqualified. What's his... Ooh, so he's going to roll his disqualification here. He's got a 7. He rolls a 3, so he is disqualified. And he's got this. When Anarchy is disqualified, roll 2 dice. The roll is 10 through 12. Anarchy uses crucifix drop on his opponent outside the ring. Roll injury 1 through 6. All right, so let's see here. The roll's a 3, so there's no injury. All right, well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Anarchy retains the title, but obviously a rematch is in the making, so let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments when what special match these two should have in a rematch. Thomas Morgan in the chat saying, do you know when the new Legends Prime will be out? If you're talking about 2022, probably in January. That's probably when they put up the orders from that. If you're talking about 2021, those are all out, and the final cards have shipped. So if you are a member of Promoter Prime, there you go. Yeah, there we go. All right, it's time for the question of the show. Last week I asked you, what match are you most looking forward to in the new Ringside Companion? And I understand this is a little bit hard because we don't have the Ringside Companion or know what's in it. But Thomas Morgan says, I'm looking to getting the new Ringside Companion for the Scaffold match and other special matches. I have the one for black and white sets. And Scotty Boy 99 says definitely the new Scaffold match is what he's looking for. Carl Zilla says, I'm not a huge fan of random gimmick matches, so I don't really know what sort of thing I'm most looking forward to. Honestly, I think my excitement stems from having the opportunity to blow off big feuds with these matches rather than any specific gimmick match. So thank you to everybody who answered the question there. This week for the question of the show, now next week on the podcast will be our big countdown of the top things from Filsinger Games of 2021. So my question to you is, what was your favorite Filsinger Games release of 2021? Next week, I'll be counting down my top 5. I would love to know what your favorite release of the year was. You can let me know in the show notes, and I will put those in the show next week. Thomas Morgan, as was clarifying, Prime 2022, probably in January. Definitely in January. We may even have some sort of confirmation in the perennial that is going to be happening in January. So definitely that's when we will get our order information. Elsewhere here on the YouTube channel, we've got the Legends Expansion 8 overview, which is the most viewed video of the week. We've got the Women of the Indies International overview. We've got Card 3 of my Memphis project and the Hollywood Elite Wrestling Tournament of Legends with some surprise outcomes in that whole thing. So definitely go check those out at youtube.com/GWF promoter. The link is in the show notes as well. As we wrap up here, we want to send some love to our fellow Filsinger Games podcast and content creators. Uncharted Territory, the Legends crew over there. I haven't listened to the new one, so if there's any news or information that came out in there, I have not put it at. I have not. It's not in this show because I haven't listened yet. After Further Review with Steve Tower, Heartland Championship Wrestling with Dave Little, Roll Up, the official podcast of Filsinger Games, the Dizzy Dice podcast with Lee Longpree and Brockster Builds on Twitch TV. Again, all links to all these things are in the show notes for this episode. So if you're looking on how to get there, just go to the show notes for this episode, click right through, and you will be great. Another big invitation out to our friends on the Filsinger Games Fan Discord. We would love to have you join us on Discord. The big discussion yesterday was we were airing our grievances because it was Festivus. So you can get there by bit.ly, that's bit.ly/FGF Discord. That is a standing invitation for anyone to come over and join us for the discussion, for grievances, for rankings, for spreadsheets. We have tons of fun over there. I think we're pretty much going to start wrapping things up here because it's Christmas Eve. You know, there's an audio version of this podcast. You might be listening to it. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Filsinger Games in your favorite audio store, and it should pop right up. If you have a topic you would like the show to cover, make sure to leave it in the comments or send me a message. You can subscribe or follow whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, and follow GWF Promoter on social media at GWF Promoter. If you'd like to check out my personal feds, you can do so at gwfpromoter.com and lowpromoter.com. The theme song for this show is American Guy by Throwing Toasters, used by permission, and available on Apple Music, Spotify, and anywhere you get your music. This podcast is not affiliated in any way with Filsinger Games or its subsidiaries. It's purely for entertainment purposes. This episode is copyright 2021 Saturday Morning Media. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Next week is our big year in review show, so you're not going to want to miss it. Be sure to answer with your favorite release from the year and what match Anarchy and Crossfire should have next. Big shout out to Michael Bratta, Thomas Morgan, Steve Rutkowski, and anybody else who is watching live. Special thanks to you if you're listening via audio. Really appreciate you being part of the show. And I hope you have a Merry, Merry Christmas if you celebrate. And we will see you next week on New Year's Eve. Have a great week, everybody. Have a happy Christmas. And I will talk to you soon.
And I know there's a lot of people who are jealous of all the great things